Good morning, and thank you for joining us. This is A Brighter Day in the Neighborhood, and today we are joined by Lenie De Castro. Good morning, Lenie.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Emily?
Doing so well. We're so excited to have you on. If our listeners remember, we had, he would actually say, you're his better half, I'm sure, but we had Florian De Castro on a couple weeks ago, so we're so excited that we got you in this morning.
And thank you so much for inviting me so that I can speak on my behalf.
Yes, we got to hear your story too. So he has, I mean, like, man, so much to unpack, you know, his history with Air Force and all of that. But both of you met in the Philippines, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, tell me a little bit about that. How did you two meet?
Okay, so we grew up in the, of course, he grew up in the Philippines as well. And then my grandfather and his grandfather are neighbors in the town. And
Wow.
every time that he's coming home from Manila to visit his grandparents, we saw each other, and we know each other since we were 5.
Wow.
So he immigrated to the U.S. when he was 10 years old. And since then, we've been writing with each other like a pen pal.
This is like a Hallmark movie. I love it.
I know.
You can't make this stuff up. So you've known each other since like pre-kindergarten age.
Yes.
Okay.
Like maybe before we even born.
Okay.
And I
Feel
think,
like our families go way back.
yes. And I think we are destined to be with each other.
Yes, that's so cool. So you said he was there until 10, and then at the age of 10, did he move somewhere else? You said he came to the U.S. Is that right?
Yes. So he immigrated to the U.S. with his mom. And then every 5 years, he's coming home to visit the relatives. And then that's the time that we're seeing each other.
Oh, wow.
And then we are writing each other since then. And when he graduated from the U.S. Air Force Academy in 1998, he came home and he went to see me. And we started dating. And in 2000, we got married. And he petitioned me to come here in the U.S. And we started our family in 2003 when my son was born.
Wow, what a story. I love that so much. So at what age did you two end up getting married? So how many years are you waiting in the Philippines, pen paling Florian before he was like, okay, we got to do this. Let's make this official.
Well, at the age of 28, we got married.
Okay. So
And by that time, I didn't have any boyfriend. He's my first and probably the last.
well, yes, definitely the last.
Yes, definitely the last.
Oh, man.
So it just kind of like God is so good, and He made it a point that we still going to be connected, and then to the point that we became husband and wife.
Sure. It was like his hand was on it this whole time, because that is just such a unique, beautiful story.
Yes, it is.
I love that. So while he was here doing everything with the Air Force, what was going on back at home with you? Because I know you had said you went to school. Is it in Manila? Is that right?
Yes. So I graduated from National Teachers College, and then I was given like a Bachelor of Elementary Education because I guess I love education. And then I taught there for 12 years, teaching kindergarten to 6th grade.
Okay.
And
that's a while.
Yes.
So from 18 to 28.
Yes. And then from that time, he started petitioning me, and then after we got married in 2000, and then he came here in the U.S. And while he was in the service in the Air Force, I applied for the Child Development Center.
Okay.
And on the base as the teacher for the pre-tots and kindergarten. So I did that for like about 8 years.
Okay.
Until we went to Italy. And of course, we were stationed in Italy, and as much as I would love to work, but I would love to enjoy being there and understand the culture and traditions of the Italians. So I end up not working, and I just had a good life over there by visiting different places.
Right.
Yes.
So I guess you guys have been a little bit of all over then. So has it just been the Philippines, Italy, and the U.S., or where else have you guys lived?
Oh, that's it. Because he was
Okay.
stationed as well in Greenland, but we didn't go. My son and I
Okay.
stayed here in Colorado Springs.
Like, good luck. We hope you do well there. We do not want to end up in Greenland.
I know, but I was able to visit him for 1 week, and I
Okay.
actually loved it.
Really?
Yes.
What was your favorite thing about Greenland?
I love the Danish food. And
Food is usually the
yes.
best part about going anywhere new, right? Part of the culture, but
yes, and I was able to go visit the place wherein nobody can go there if no one will sponsor you.
right.
So it's a great tour assignment for him, and I was able to go see the iceberg.
So I was going to say, I guess kind of the history, and I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm mistaken. I guess Greenland, like was it the Vikings? They named Greenland, but really it was more of like the Iceland, and Iceland was really Greenland to confuse people so that they would go to the wrong place and they would get to keep like the nicer, less icy land. So I guess you said it was full of glaciers and really
Yes.
cold.
Yeah, it's really cold, and it feels like you're in the moon because everywhere everywhere you see, it's so far, and you thought you're already at your destination, but you're not. So I said, "Oh my goodness!" And then I know we have snow here, but over there it's terrible because I remember one time I went out with my wet hair, and all of a sudden it turned like ice.
It's crisp all of a sudden.
Yes.
So we're close to that here with our weather today for our listeners. Yeah, we have like, is it 10 degrees? But it was -3, I think, when I woke up. So I tried not to go outside with wet hair today. I'm sure you didn't either.
I didn't.
It was a little tough. Being from a warmer climate, I'm from the South. So in Nashville, it's always humid and it has the cold seasons, but it doesn't usually get below 20 at the very coldest.
Oh, my.
And even then it still has the humidity. So it feels different. It's a different kind of cold, but I definitely can understand like the more warm, temperatures. So when it dips to like negatives here, it is a little bit unnerving. So I don't know if you feel the same being from the Philippines and you have like the tropical climate going on. Did that take some adjusting for you?
Yes, definitely. Because in the Philippines, we only have like wet and dry season.
Right.
It's just like that. And I remember when I was young, we live in a mountain. So in order for us to go down to go to school, way back in my elementary days, we have to go down. We have to go walk 2 hours every day for 6 years. And
my goodness.
yes, it was hard. It was a good experience, but I think what I had before, it makes me who am I today.
Okay.
That I am capable of doing things, which even though it's hard sometimes, but I can accomplish anything because of the hardship that I've been through way back.
I love that, man. I heard a quote, I believe it was yesterday, that I was reading an article, and it said something like, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And I was like, wow, that is such a good way to put that. And it's kind of like those trials of life and the harder things that you had to face. And it's like, okay, do I give up or do I continue with this? And this is going to make me better for that. It sounds like you definitely have some of those hurdles that you've overcome in your life that make you the incredible woman of character that we're getting to sit down with today.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So kind of going back to, you had shared a little bit about education. How did you always have an interest in that? Was it because you loved, helping teach siblings or relatives, or what got you interested in doing education where that kind of became your passion?
Well, I guess it's just like that experience that I have, that we were in elementary days, that we have to go walk and go to the school. It's so far, and that helps me to really like love education, because if you have the proper education and everything, no one can take it away from you.
That's
because
true.
knowledge is power.
It
And
is,
yes, and then that makes that experience of mine, I was able to go experience, which at first I said like, oh my God, why do I have to do that? But I guess now looking back, it made me appreciate what I had before. And then when I went to high school, I said like, you know what, I'm just going to be a teacher, because if I can make a difference in children's lives, then it's going to be important. And I think that's my passion, which it's very dear heart to me, seeing the light bulb when kids understanding what they don't understand. That makes me happy, and I think that's my greatest treasure.
Yeah, it sounds like it's been an incredible life calling.
Yep.
So kind of in that same vein, tell me a little bit about how you and Florian both started up, correct me if I'm wrong, started up the Huntington Learning Center.
Okay.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, sure. So since I had an education, the bachelor's in education, so that's my kind of like means. But when I came here in the U.S., I didn't pursue my career because, of course, I supported Flo for his military career. Right. And I end up working at the child development. But I realized that I'm also molding the students because they're at the age of 1 year old and above. And I was able to go teach them the basic foundations like colors, singing rhymes, alphabets, and everything. And that's make me so happy. So when we went to Italy, I didn't work there. And then when we came back, he has only like about 2 years left before he retired. So I work at the elementary school as a lunch monitor, and still about
I love that.
Yeah, still about helping kids. And I said, we were thinking about like doing a business. And he said, like, why don't we open a tutoring center or tutoring business? And we look at different kinds of tutoring businesses, but this is far the best that I found that I like because when I went to New Jersey to go look at the model and everything, I've seen that what the curriculum that they have is also the one that I've been using when I was teaching in the Philippines.
Right.
And when I was teaching there, first grade, second grade, I have 60 children under my care.
60 in one grade?
In one grade.
Oh my goodness. I think teachers here in the U.S. would lose their minds. I do not know how you did that. God bless.
I don't know how did I do that, but you know, there are 60 kids, and then way back, textbooks are very important. So every subject, they have about 7 subjects. So 60 times 7? No, 6. And then each children has a book of their own. So
for each subject.
Yes, it's been a lot. But the thing is, the greatest accomplishment that I have is that when kids able to go read at the age of first grade before they go to second grade, because it's mandatory for us to go help them to read before they reach second grade. That's my biggest thing. 60 kids able to go read at the age of second grade. And looking back, due to the fact that we have the media, I still have contact with my previous students.
Wow.
They are now professionals. They are now lawyers, doctors, nurses, accountants, and no one can take away from that. And when they're seeing me, they're saying like, thank you so much because you help us to where we are right now.
Oh, that's so heartwarming. It's
very heartwarming, and every time they're telling me that, it breaks my heart.
You're like, but it's all worth it.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and then probably that's the reason why, like, you know what? I want to go look for something that I can help the children, especially now. And then that's the reason why we pick Huntington Learning Center, because I like the model and I like their curriculum, and we have helped a lot of students already.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so important. If you are just tuning in, we are here with Lenie De Castro. This is A Brighter Day in the Neighborhood, and this is Emily Burrus filling in for Angela Jones. So kind of hopping back into that, that's kind of the heart of why and how we got into, or I guess you all got into the Huntington Learning Center. And that, oh my goodness, I'm just wrapping my head around, I guess you're saying like these kids in, you know, the Philippines or even, you know, here as well, come back to you and, you know, because of you and the things you instilled in us, we're, you know, where we are now. So truly you are changing the trajectory of some of their lives, which, I mean, what a noble calling. And I'm sure that that is, you know, a good reason to get up in the morning every day.
Yeah. It does, because the fact also that Huntington can brought the kids up from 2+ grade level, use it for the academic skills, and then we can get the students for those who are taking prep classes for us. For SAT, we can get up to plus 229 points. And with the ACT, we can get them up to 5.4 plus. And it's amazing.
That makes such a difference.
It makes a difference. And if I can help a lot of children, that would be better because they will be our future.
They are.
Yep.
So how many years have you all, I guess, run and been CEO for you of the Huntington Learning Center here in Colorado Springs?
We started actually in February of 2017, finalizing everything, and we opened the center in December of 2017. So this year is our 5th year, and
so exciting.
Just like what you said, I am the CEO, so mainly I'm doing the day-to-day operation of the center, the networking, the marketing, and I just recently hired the new managing director.
Yeah, you'd share that.
Yes,
that's so exciting.
Yes, I'm so excited, and she's really a good fit for the position, and I'm so happy to have her in Huntington Learning Center.
Yeah, it sounds like you have an incredible team, but you, I remember, said, I'm usually in the back, and you kind of have to be the person making everything run and all the ships running smoothly in order for it to be what it is. Yeah. So how many students do you all serve in the Colorado Springs area?
So right now we have about 31 children.
Okay.
And then they're ranging from kindergarten to 12th grade.
Okay. So really all grades.
Yes, all grades. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I love that so much. So you have a son, Dylan.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So is he a part of it, or is Dylan like hands-on helping with it, or what is, I guess, does he have a role at all in the Huntington Learning Center?
Oh, Dylan is actually the reason why we opened the Huntington Learning Center.
Aww.
Yes, because being in the military kid, he's used to move from different places.
Right.
He used to go to public school, charter school, dad school, and when we came back here, it's another public school. So during the times of different kind of schooling,
super taxing on any child.
Yes.
Like hopping from one place to another educationally.
Yeah, and then also there's you can see like there's gap because there's no consistency.
Right.
So we've seen that in his education, and then when we got here, I hired a tutor to help him, but it's only like for day-to-day basis, and I want something more. Yeah, and then that's the reason why I my husband and I researched this Huntington Learning Center because it can help the students for the academic skills.
Right.
So we were eager to open it so that it can help my son, and then we were able to help him. So I remember the time that I enrolled him in 2018, January of 2018. He's already in high school and he has to go take acupuncture in order to go get college courses. At the first time, he didn't pass.
Okay.
Or he's missing points.
Right.
So I enrolled him in my center. He's my first learning student.
You're guinea pig, Dylan.
Yes. And then I enrolled him, and guess what? He started in January, and by the time of March, he took the acupuncture again, and he got a good score. And then that's the start of his taking college courses.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So it made a total difference. And I mean, why would you not want to do that? So you kind of said it made, I guess, not just like helping him make sure he's passing right where he was and succeeding at the time, but really setting himself up to be successful in the long run.
Yes.
And to then, be, excelling and not just making it by is kind of what I'm hearing you say.
Yes, because that's the biggest treasure or inheritance that we can give him.
Yeah,
because no one will take it away from him.
You're like, it's, financial is great, but yeah, like you said, when you set someone up, educationally, you're really giving them the ability to do whatever it is they choose and set their mind to. So that's so important. Well, I love that so much. I also wanted to touch on something that isn't quite as, in depth, but I know we had talked about you and Florian and how, you have done a ton of traveling, but something he loved that, like, I guess was your maybe like anniversary gift or birthday gift or so tell me about this collection of bags that you guys got to go and gather together, because I was like, I love this. This is something I want to aspire to have one day too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so way back when we were stationed here in Colorado
spot.
Springs, I don't have nice stuff on everything because we're just starting out.
But you know what? You waited, what is it? Like, you know,
Yes.
20 years before, 23 years.
Yes.
You're like, I was your pen pal for 23 years. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think you earned it.
Yeah, and he told me like, "Oh, don't worry about it because I'm gonna go get you something like purses where it came from." And I said, "Oh my God, really?" And I said like, "Okay, then we need to be stationed in Italy." So I prayed
What
for
a dream.
that.
Yes.
So I prayed for that actually, and I said like, "Oh my God, please help us to be stationed in Italy."
And
So
lo
this-
and behold.
And lo and behold, in 2012, we got a notice that we will be stationed there. So I was so happy, and you know, it happened. And then when we got there, he said, "Now it's your turn." So he researched everything.
Okay, so are you able to like name off the ones that you were able to get?
Yes.
You're like, I don't want to, but you know, for the sake of
Yeah.
like we went here to get this, we went here to get this. I love this plan. Like I said, I'm gonna have to one day when I get married be like, all right, listen, here's what you're signing up for. You know, like our 10-year anniversary or what. I guess I should
Yeah.
probably wait, 23 years like you did and put in my due diligence. But
Yeah.
here's where we're gonna go and here's what we're getting. So it's
Yes.
like, I love this plan.
And I think it's a good thing about the waiting thing. Like, do not be impulsive. Because what I did is just kind of like I wait, and then I waited for the right time, and then the right time, and it came, and
You
I
sure
had
were
it.
patient.
Yes.
So just to name a couple, so we're talking about how her husband had given her different bags, and definitely collector's items, like nice designer bags from
Yeah.
the factory itself. So like
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton from, I think it's Italy
It's
or
in
France.
no, it's in
France.
France.
Okay.
Yeah, the very
Um,
first store.
And then Chanel,
And
Fendi,
yeah,
Gucci. What else am I missing?
Christian Dior.
Okay, Dior. Can't forget Dior.
What else?
And then I know we were laughing about how like years ago, maybe like early 2000s, how like Dooney and Burke was a big thing. And
I
so
know,
you were
yeah.
like, oh yeah, babe, get me a Dooney and Burke. And then you got a little blown out of the water with,
Wow.
the level of, and well, like you said, well earned because you
Yeah, it's-
were
yes.
so patient.
It's well earned, and I think I deserve it, right?
I agree. And I think he would definitely agree.
And
So-
the fact that I'm not the only one who's gonna use it, because we can pass it actually to Dylan's children.
It's so true. Man, we could get into that because that's something that so interests me. People are like, oh, you're throwing away money, just wanting to look flashy. And I'm like, oh my goodness, do you know how much a Chanel bag costs if it was one of the, originals? And if it's been kept in good condition, it
Yeah.
now is, much, much more, valuable than the ones that, you can just go out and buy in stores today, which are not
Yeah.
inexpensive, but it truly is an investment piece. And so I think that's such a cool thing that you can pass down to, your children and
Yes.
grandchildren. And not that Dylan, would necessarily be interested in carrying a Chanel bag himself, but I'm sure that he would love to be able to gift those to his wife one day. So that's a beautiful legacy also that you're setting him up for.
Yeah, it's just about legacy.
Yeah. And I remember Florian, your husband, saying the same thing. Like, he being a businessman, he just is, legacy is so important.
Yep.
And I feel like in our kind of society, it's not something that's necessarily valued as much as it used to be. It's very much like, let's get all that we can right now and like live for the moment. And very few,
Yeah.
much more few people are, multi-generationally focused. And so I love how that's something that's such your heartbeat.
Yep. We need to go leave a legacy for our children, right? Because
Right.
we're not going to be here forever.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
they will have their own life, and if we were able to go give them a good legacy, then it will move from generation to generation, which is really good,
I would totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, Lenny, we only have a few more minutes here.
Okay.
How do people, if they are looking to get in touch with you, either about a bag from, Italy or France, or for the Learning Center, what is the best way for them to reach out?
Well, they can look at our websites. It's www.huntingtonhelps.com, or they can try to call our number, 719-239-7073. And we were able to go help. And I just want to go take this opportunity as well and let the other women, minorities, and also like immigrant like me that everything is possible. I'm just a housewife, but I was able to.
So much more.
Yes, but I was able to go build this business, though it's a franchise, but it helps me to go help the community by making a difference in children's lives. So if they want any pointers or anything, please feel free to contact me and I would be able to help.
Okay, great. I love that. And you truly are, you know, we talked about a little bit with your husband, you're living the American dream. And so I think that's such a beautiful thing that you have set up legacies and that you're like, anybody can do this. And so you've worked so hard. So I just want to commend you for that as well.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Well, we have loved having you with us today, Lenie. This has been a brighter day in the neighborhood. And until next time, I hope that you have brighter days.